The following is a presentation of the St. Louis Chess Club.
Everybody to round 3 of the 2022 Summer Chess Classic. To bring you all of the action, I am Grandmaster Alejandro Ramirez here with my analyst, Grandmaster Cristian Chirila.
Alejandro, always a pleasure to be here in Studio B with you. We have two amazing tournaments. What can you tell us about these tournaments, Alejandro?
They're not quite the Singfield Cup and they're not quite the US Champs, but we do have very strong fields for you. Two 10-player round-robin tournaments full of Grandmasters, full of excitement. It's one of the projects that we are very proud to have here at the St. Louis Chess Club. Tournaments that help players become elite, that small step that they need between the 2600 or even Grandmaster path to the top of the world. There's not a lot of events there they can play each other very often, and this is one of the great ones. Players are, as you can see, dying to play in this event. And let's take a look at what we have in Group A for you, as we already have 2 rounds on the books. 3 players are on +1. They've won 1 more game than they've lost. Yangyi, Benjamin Gladura, and Jonas Bjerre from Denmark all have 1.5 points.
Tied for 4th, we have Abhi Mishra, Sam Sevian, Ray Robson, and Aram Hakobyan, who actually saved a very difficult endgame yesterday against Sam Sevian with the white pieces. And tied for 8th position, we have Ilya Smirin, Nikolas Theodorou, and the 3rd seed going into this event, Grigoriy Oparin, who lost with the white pieces against the leader of the tournament, Yangyi. And how about the B group, Alejandro?
In the big group, we have a similar situation. It's 2, not 3 people that are at the top, but they also have a +1 score. Both Kamil Dragun and Brandon Jacobson have 1.5 points out of 2.
Absolutely, but unfortunately, we don't see
right there.
B group. There we go.
There we go. And Guillermo Vazquez, Christopher Yu, JJ, Ali Marandi, and Antipov, Burke, and Zhou Jianchao have 50%. Zhou Jianchao, by the way, actually has 2 decisive games, having lost the first game and won the second.
I have to say, Alejandro, I'm quite impressed with your memory without actually seeing the standings. You remember the standings. And how about the tournament format? Tell us a bit about that.
Easy enough. As you can see, some shots from the playing hall. We have 2 10-player round-robin events, 9 rounds each, 90 minutes for the first 40 moves, 30 minutes for the rest of the game at normal classical time control with a 30-second increment all throughout. Schedule is very easy. We will have 1 round a day, starting every day at 1 p.m. Not here at the St. Louis Chess Club, actually just around the corner from the St. Louis Chess Club. Our schedules will be 1 round a day, every day at 1 p.m., except for the Friday round.
Absolutely. The last day will actually start 2 hours earlier at 11 a.m. And our live show starts every single day 2.5 hours later. So right now for us is 3:30 Central Time. And what about the social media, Alejandro? How can the audience reach out to us and interact?
Well, join us. We are paying attention to the chat both on YouTube and on Twitch. And remember that if you are donating on Twitch, also we are on Twitter on #SummerChessClassic. But if you're donating on Twitch, join us for every $75 that we get via subs or donations. We'll be able to provide a full semester of chess programming to a kid here in St. Louis. So certainly a lot of support being given to chess, not just to the elite and not just to Grandmasters, but for players of all levels here in St. Louis. So join us in this initiative. It's $75. For every $75 that we get, we will be able to provide a full semester of chess programming for a talented student here.
Not only any type of chess programming, but actually with top-level coaches.
That's right.
We actually have one, Varuzhan Hakobyan, a good friend of ours here in St. Louis, who is doing a lot of the bulk of those trainings. So your kid can get the best training possible here in the United States. And Alejandro, what can you tell us about the pairings? Round number 4.
It's what we're here for. It's Abhi Mishra, only 13 years of age. He'll be facing up against Aram Hakobyan. Ilya Smirin is playing against Grigoriy Oparin. Nikolas Theodorou in a grudge match is actually playing against Benjamin Gladura. Benjamin Gladura lost a crucial game against Theodorou in the finals of the Collegiate National Championship, the Final Four, about a month and a half ago, and I'm sure that he's coming back for vengeance. Sevian is playing against Jonas Bjerre, trying to get his first full point, but the marquee matchup will certainly be in the highest rated pairing today, Yangyi versus Ray Robson. Yangyi already on a +1 score. Ray not finding his stride just yet, drew a really boring game yesterday against Abhi Mishra. He tried to make it interesting, and it seemed like it was going to go that way in a Botvinnik semi-slav, but it really petered out to nothing very quickly.
Also not a complete disaster for Ray,
No,
because
not at all.
in the first round he actually had the black pieces against Grigoriy Oparin.
Oh, that's true.
He drew quite easily.
Yeah.
Now, Yangyi, on the other hand, he drew the first round with the white pieces in a very shaky game, and he was telling us yesterday during the interview that he felt like he was just probably losing in that one. But then he came back, he bounced back with the black pieces with a huge victory yesterday against Grigoriy Oparin, who, unfortunately for him right now, is struggling. But let's not forget, we still have 7 rounds.
Yeah, we have a bunch of rounds left. Of course, we have this one. Let's not focus on analysis just yet. Let's actually go into the pairings of Group B first, because today I think that Group B is slightly more exciting than Group A.
Absolutely.
Group B, we have a bunch of games there. I think the marquee matchups, plural, are going to be Kamil Dragun and Antipov, but also like the Zhou Jianchao game, who just comes off 2 decisive games against Brandon Jacobson, one of the leaders, is certainly up there. The other leader, Kamil Dragun against Antipov, that you have to look at that one. But I wanted to start today's broadcast actually looking at the game between Nikolas Checa and Chao-Jacobson. These are 2 very young players. Nikolas Checa is a college student. He goes to Yale University. I believe he's a sophomore.
Sophomore, yes.
Yeah, he's about to be a rising sophomore is what we call them, yes. And Chao-Jacobson, well, he hasn't even graduated high school, actually, quite young. But it seems like a lot is going on that game, so let's just jump straight into it.
Perhaps we can pull it on our screen right now. As you can see, the playing hall. Wow, a lot of things are actually happening in that one. I'm glancing, and to be honest, I have no idea what's happening. I see this last move, queen to d3, and I see a hanging knight on e5, and I'm like, wait a minute. That's not how you play chess. You are just defending that knight on e5. Where are you going with the queen?
Yeah, also
please explain to me, Alejandro.
Right?
What if I just simply take?
So this is the main question, right? If we go a couple of moves just to tell the audience what's going on. After the moves, queen g3, queen g3 a couple of moves ago, just 2. Yeah, I felt that this is already the start of incredible tactics, because black is up 2 pawns, which is a lot. But currently I have a very direct threat. g7 is mate, and of course I'm also threatening the bishop on f3.
Correct.
So that's why they black play the move knight e5, which might be the only way to defend everything.
Intercepts the bishop as well as defends the bishop on f3. Now the question is, what if I just simply take like this?
I think the problem with this move is queen e3 check.
Ah, okay, so you started with queen e3
Yeah, I
first.
start with queen e3, rook f2 is the only move, and then
now
I take
you
with the rook.
and at the end of all this stuff,
The
you
knight is
pick up the
hanging.
knight.
Yeah, the
so
knight
that's
is
why he
hanging.
started with knight to c3.
Yeah, knight c3 hits the queen. If you go to f5, for example, I take
Then I
on
can just
e5,
simply
and then
take.
I take on f3, so that's not really...
That's easy.
That's
so
easy.
You actually take back first because the knight on c3 is hanging. Then you take on f3, you're a piece up, and you're going to win this one.
Yeah.
Now,
So,
he goes to d3.
and this is where we need to actually calculate. 'cause
Much
queen
more
d3
aggressive approach.
Yeah.
You have to keep connection with the pawn on e3. But still, the question is, what if I just simply take on e5? And you take here. I go rook to f2. I don't have any other alternatives. You take on e5 most likely.
I guess so, yeah.
And then I take on f3. Isn't that a piece for how many pawns?
It's 3 pawns.
3 pawns.
It is a
Okay.
lot of pawns.
Okay.
But
So it's not that bad.
It really is not that bad. I'm actually wondering if there's a better move. Just for 1 second, if you can go back.
Well, actually, there definitely is a better move because he just played it.
Yeah, he played rook f3.
played
I
rook
was
f3.
wondering about bishop takes e5, but perhaps...
Bishop takes e5 first.
Yeah,
But this is what we were looking at,
I
right?
can't make it work. I'm trying to find a move that's not...
So after queen to e3, what?
Yeah, it has to be queen e3, right? There's nothing else.
right, no.
Rook f2 is only move.
Yeah, because
You go rook
if
e5.
you take, I just take back.
And I don't see anything. Yeah, yeah.
There's nothing, and once you attack and try to get, well, first of all, your bishop is
Bishop's
hanging.
hanging, yeah.
You don't have that. And queen to g6 is met nicely
Queen
by
g3.
queen to g3. Okay, so he decided against that. He decided against that endgame with 3 pawns for the piece.
Yeah, instead he goes for the position with 2 pieces against a rook, but
By
2
the
pawns.
way, there is no checkmate on g7 because firstly there's a check. So you have to respond to that. You take on f3.
And I don't actually know.
How do we assess this? Well, I have to say, at first glance, white just seems to be much better.
Yeah,
Mostly because of this guy.
I have to agree that you're going to get a pawn back, right? Knight takes d5 is hard to prevent.
I'm also going to go rook to f1.
Rook f1, rook d1 is coming. I mean, you're not going to take d5 anytime soon. You can take it whenever.
Not in a hurry. And
The king is safe, right?
that's the problem. Another huge problem for black right now. For example, if you go something like queen to g6, not only that my king hides, but also I'm creating an extra threat. I want to go rook to g1 next, and you're actually losing instantaneously. Now I have rook to f1 coming, rook to g1 coming, and knight takes d5 with devastating consequences. So
No, this looks terrible.
I don't see it.
So maybe black is just nearly busted here.
That's, to the naked eye, this is
What it looks like, right?
This is what
Yeah,
it looks
remember
like.
we're not using engines, so we might be completely blundering something, but this looks...
I don't think we are.
no, this looks very bad for black.
Yeah, knight.
Yeah.
I like this decision
Queen
of taking
on f3 over the endgame with the 3 pawns. You can just click on it at the end, the line with bishop takes e5. Little up. Yeah.
Bishop takes e5, this one? No.
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 Yeah. That one.
So bishop takes e5. Oh, yeah, sorry. Pak, this one, right?
Yeah, I have to say the other one looks better. Because
Much better. First of all, you also
d4,
get
and
d4.
this is a 3 result game.
Where's the knight going?
Yeah, it's a 3 result game. You
You
don't
have to
want
go
play
to the
this.
side, and we know that knight's on the side.
Yeah.
Not very good. Also, I have a feeling that if I get to the second rank,
I feel like we're
might
playing for
have
all
some
results, and in
problems.
the other one, I think black-white is just
you might
much
have some
better.
problems.
Yeah. That is a
Yeah.
good decision by Chaka.
Excellent decision by Checa. 26 minutes for the young player from Yale. Only 19 minutes and counting, and a lot of moves to make and a lot of difficult moves to make for Christopher Yu. Now, let's jump to this game between the game of the day, actually.
Oh, the game of the day.
In Group B between Dragoon Kamil, one of the leaders of the event, and Mishra-Antipov.
Yeah, Mishra-Antipov is playing his favorite Grunfeld. Actually, I think he only plays the Grunfeld. And this variation, I haven't even looked through the game, but I know which variation this is. This is the variation everybody's playing.
Everybody's playing nowadays, yeah.
Now, I don't know why, but it is. I can guess why. This line of the Grunfeld is kind of drawish, but white never loses and sometimes wins, even though they're down 2 pawns.
Yes, and what we are talking about is actually this line, which was played, if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't Sam. Actually, yes, it was Sam Shankland
yeah.
with the white pieces, and then only a couple of days later.
It wasn't a couple of days.
Was just a few hours.
It was a few hours later.
Just a few hours.
Yeah, Sam Shankland played this in the Grand Prix. I'm actually blanking against who. And that same day, we had it here in the Spring Chess Classic at the same time.
Oh yes, I remember now. I remember now. Actually, against Antipov.
Against Antipov. It was Antipov against somebody strong. I want to say it was like I don't remember at the moment.
Yeah. But he has been playing this line. He has been defending the black side of this line quite a few times in the last few months.
And how's he holding up in today's game? He's up 2 pawns, but nobody really cares because opposite color bishops and weak kings.
It's still up to pawns. But yes, I mean, it matters much less than you would expect.
Yeah.
Now, how did we get here? First of all, this is the line we're talking
This is a
about.
theory, yeah.
And all the way to this point, I think a5 was perhaps the idea that Sam
I
brought
think
to
a5 is the
table.
best move, yeah.
And after bishop to d4 to create this outpost for the queen to b4, queen to a1.
Yeah.
You still have 1 extra square there. And now it's all about the positioning of the bishops.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to find an outpost for the light square bishop, the bishop that will go to b5? So you did find an outpost. It's safe there. But unfortunately, you're not on the king side, right? You're on the queen side, and it's kind of stuck there. Now, what that will allow white is to create some checkmating threats, as we are seeing after this couple of moves. Bishop to h8, now you have to defend against queen to g7. The only way to do that is, of course, to go f6. And now e5, and we see this.
So the idea is that on e5 there's no queen d3. I was wondering why you throw in a4.
Exactly. Yes,
okay.
very good point, Alejandro. So the what we're discussing, if you start with bishop to h8, f6, e5, now I can just simply go queen to d3. I still have a tempo on the bishop.
I think the bishop
and actually
dead.
you're just losing.
You're just losing,
that bishop. Yes, because now you have to exchange. You take. I take back. I don't even have
you
to
don't even
take
have
on
to take on
h8
h8,
first.
yeah.
This is just completely, well,
No, you have g5 at the end.
It is, because, very nice. Nicely pointed out, this bishop protects the pawn on h7. You're not going to be able to engage this battery on the 7th rank. So, looks quite good for black, but Kamil, after quite a think actually, 11 minutes, he played the move a4. And now we got into this line, queen to a3, bishop to c2, bishop is redirecting to a more central position, bishop to e4, f4, rook to d8, h3, rook to d7, king to h2, rook to d8, and I think this is the current position that we have on the board. Let's try to analyze it, Alejandro.
I mean, my first instinct is that it's such a hard position because did he actually not play bishop g2 on purpose? Oh, bishop g2, maybe
bishop
rook d1.
g2, rook d1, yes.
Rook d1,
that is the problem.
Yeah.
Because now you take, but unfortunately your bishop is hanging at the end. This is just losing. So first you start with rook to d8. Now, actually, you are threatening to go bishop takes g2, because let's say I'm just going to make a random move. If you go rook to d1, I still have this extra square to f3.
Yeah,
and my rook on d7
the rook on d7
is protected.
So I'm kind of curious. If I play rook d1 here, rook cd1, let's go.
Sure.
I don't think you can take on d1, right?
No, I'm not going to take on d1.
So you go queen c4.
I don't know why. Actually, I do know why.
Yeah.
I do know why, because now you take on e7.
But you have rook. You know, rook d7.
Rook d7, which one?
I think the first one. The rook 1 d7.
Rook 1 to d7.
Queen e6 check.
No.
A queen
I'm
f6.
going to go to f6 first. Yeah. I have a feeling your king is going to get in some sort of trouble.
I have a feeling too, even though.
But maybe not.
I wouldn't guarantee it, right?
Maybe not.
Maybe not. But it is very scary for black to play like this. I don't see the actual threat.
It's very scary, and I have a feeling it's a game for one result.
Yeah.
Because I always have queen to h8, queen to f6.
You mean two results, but yeah.
Two results.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree. This doesn't look very promising for black, so you kind of have to go queen c4.
Mm-hmm. And I would go queen to c4, and actually I don't.
Maybe it's not a problem.
I feel I'm quite well protected.
Yeah, if the bishop gets to, if you trade rooks, or if you trade even one rook and go bishop d5, I mean, you're going to be pretty comfortable.
Oh yeah, bishop to d5. First of all, I have this
Rook d2.
huge threat. Rook to d2.
Maybe rook d1 is just not a good move. So I think black's doing okay.
Maybe rook to c5.
Rook c5, I think queen d3 is going to come.
Queen to d3.
And there's a lot of repetitions like that, right? You can go rook c3 and.
Yeah, but I'm not 100% sure who's playing for a victory right now.
I think it's still white.
Really?
I think it's still white because he always has these chances to give a perpetual somehow. I mean, rook c3 is not like black and really.
Queen d2 maybe. Queen d4 just take this.
Yeah.
This might be the perpetual against the queen.
It might be. I don't guarantee that black is losing.
Yeah, by the way, this might actually just finish the game.
It might just, if he wants it, right?
If he wants it.
But that's the question. I don't know if black's fully equalized. There's still some tricks. Move the bishop somewhere, go queen b2.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that Kamil will try, but he might not have it. He might not have anything better than the draw.
Well, there's another problem that Kamil is facing right now, and that he has only 7 minutes left.
For how many moves?
9 moves, but still 7 minutes with such a complicated position in which you do have this rook c5, rook c3, very tempting option.
Yeah,
and you are 2 pawns down.
It doesn't feel like you're gonna.
I don't think he's gonna go for it. I think he's just gonna go for equality. Now let's go to your students' game, Alejandro. Ali Marandi versus Harutyunyan.
No longer my student, unfortunately for me.
No longer your student.
JJ Ali Marandi, after 6 years tenure at St. Louis University, got his master's degree.
One of the founding fathers.
One of the founding students.
St. Louis University.
The SLU chess team actually came in the first year. We had a team in 2016. Has finally graduated.
Wow. How do you feel about that, Alejandro?
I feel a little mixed feelings, you know, like it was about time. the cuckoo flew the nest, but you know, it's always sad to see them leave.
Of course, of course. But right now he has a better position. First of all, I think that a pawn has to be giving white the advantage in this situation.
I mean, white has to be better, yeah?
I think so. And if you go king to d7, the problem is that I just simply take and then knight d5 is coming. So that might be a problem. You cannot approach this pawn very easily.
Yeah, that being said, what do you do to make progress, though?
I'm not saying he's winning or anything of that nature. I'm just saying that
no, but white's
he's the one pressing.
White's definitely better. And you have a lot of tries. You can go rook h1, you can go rook e1.
Exactly.
Probably rook somewhere and put some pressure. I don't know how much better he is, but because the pawn on a5 is pretty untouchable.
And by the way, another problem with the time for the player with the black pieces, Harutyunyan. 3 minutes and 15 seconds, while your student, quite fast, 41 minutes. He plays according to his brand. Now, let's move on to Group A, Alejandro.
Let's do it.
Let's continue. We're going to go to your student.
All right. So Nico,
what's happening in the game between Gledura and Theodorou? Gledura with the black pieces. Defending in this position against the two bishops of Theodorou's.
Yeah, this looks close to lost. He needs to find...
Close to lost for
black, right? Because you're worried about knight c6 just winning.
That's a big problem, yes. Yes, so almost every endgame you're going to have to face knight c6 and knight takes a7. And that's a problem.
That is a problem. Maybe loss is an exaggeration, but white is definitely the one pushing here. You have two bishops, you have more space, you have the knight coming to c6. It's maybe a defensible endgame, but it looks really ugly. Without a light squared bishop, which is black is sorely missing, this knight on c6 is going to be a pain.
Untouchable.
It's pretty much untouchable. You don't want to create a passed pawn on c6, so you cannot really trade it.
You do have one trick as black. So, for example, it's black to move. Let's just play a normal
whatever, yeah, and then a5.
Now you can go a6, actually.
Okay.
I would like to go a6 because I want to get rid of one of the pawns, pair of pawns. So you cannot take because your knight is hanging. You have to wait for this queen to get out of d6, out of the attention of the square c6, or one of your pieces defending, extra defending that knight on c6, potentially the queen on c4.
Okay. So,
but what do we play, right?
What is the move here?
After all, we do have to make a move as black.
So we're talking about the endgames. They're really bad, right? I mean, oh, he played knight e7.
e7.
Jeez.
Immediately.
That is...
Trying to defend this. Not only that, but also creating an immediate threat on the pawn on d4.
Yeah.
So what if I just simply go queen to c4?
I have kind of a dumb question.
Sure.
If I go
bishop g5
a3.
Bishop to a3. Okay. I assume he wants to take it. I'm not even going to think twice.
Yeah, knight c6. How do we...
Knight to c6. I have queen a1.
Yeah, I know you have queen a1, and I still want to play this. But you have bishop d6 at the end.
I do.
Let's try to figure this out.
So what do you do?
See, the problem here is, let's just show this to the audience. Yeah, you take, you want to take, and I thought I was promoting my pawn, but you have check.
Have this nice check at the end.
Yeah. So, can I do it with... No, but I don't want to play bishop d1. Although...
If you have to go bishop to d1,
yeah, that's not.
I don't believe this is enough. First of all, but I don't have.
You don't have a lot of choices.
So if you take,
here c7 wins.
Queen to c1. You have queen to c2.
Yeah.
And there's no way to stop you from promoting. So that's a problem.
It does look pretty artificial. I don't believe in it.
Very artificial, I have to say. But first of all, what if I just make a random move like this? Knight back to d5.
Knight what?
Back to d5.
Yeah, maybe this is the correct way. Yeah, queen a1 is pretty annoying.
Because you do have knight to c3 that you have to worry about.
No, I agree. I think black has plenty. I wanted to play king h2. When the bishop's on d1, it's not the same.
Bishop on d1 is not enough. Okay, so bishop a3 doesn't work.
Well, I don't know. Bishop a3, I was also thinking queen takes d4, bishop b2 here, because I wanted to take advantage of Your f6 knight somehow hanging.
Maybe something like knight takes g6.
Or knight, yeah, knight g6 somehow.
Or even knight c6.
Knight c6 maybe, depending on...
Where do I put my queen?
Not so easy, right?
Okay, let's go here.
All right,
Just to keep an eye on this guy.
let's go g3, just to annoy you.
Okay. Trying to annoy me.
I'm hopefully succeeding.
Okay, let's keep contact with the knight on f6. Also,
Yeah, now
maybe
you have a
have
check.
some ideas.
Maybe now here I have to go knight c6.
Finally.
Finally.
Finally, you go to c6. Okay. So what can we do right now?
I gotta say, this looks pretty dangerous for black.
But also artificial for white.
Artificial, yes.
Okay, I'm
but
gonna go here.
yeah. I
So my
cannot
plan is
really take on a7, can
Why
I?
I went with this knight and not this one is because I want to open up this diagonal. If you do take, I'm going to give you a check. You're going to move the king most likely somewhere, and then bishop to g7. And I couldn't make a good way of dissolving this pin.
Yeah, this all looks
I think it
like...
just looks. By the way, queen to c4 was played.
this looks like a bunch of rubbish. I mean, queen c4 is just a better move.
Just defend the pawn.
Just defend the pawn.
Sometimes simple chess
Sometimes
is the
simple
best.
chess, yeah. Stop thinking so hard. Play a good move. Also, after knight c6, you just never take. You just cannot take that knight.
Yeah,
With the queen on c4, you just cannot take it.
Yeah.
So knight c6 is a real threat. Yeah, I still really like
Me
Niko's
too.
position.
I think white, and also knight to e7, it does feel a little bit, not
E7?
artificial, but too passive.
Yeah, although I don't know what else he could have done. Yeah. All right. We'll give white an advantage. Probably not that big, but still big.
Let's go to our
Marquee.
youngest competitor,
Oh, youngest. Okay.
Mishra versus Hakobyan. Mishra, the newcomer to the A group. He won the B group just a couple of months ago.
Yep.
The Spring Classic, with actually a very convincing performance. He
Yeah.
finished with 6.5 out of 7
That's really impressive for that level of play.
against Grandmaster level competition. So that was quite impressive. He punched his ticket into the A group, and right now he's facing the big boys.
The big boys, indeed.
boys.
And the big boys, like Aram Hakobyan, who I don't think is even 21. Actually, no, he just turned 21. Yeah. What do we think about this position? Optically,
I don't know what I think, but
looks-
I almost never see Aram on
2
3
minutes.
minutes and counting, and his
Yeah,
opponent
yeah.
on 20 minutes plus.
he's such a fast player. Like, Aram is a super fast player.
Yeah.
And he's having some actual difficulties here with the clock management.
This is move 23, by
I
the
mean,
way.
it's not even close to 40. Not
No.
even close.
No, and this is a very complicated position.
I feel black is in a bit of danger.
I think so too.
He doesn't have a lot of space, and it's hard to resolve the situation in the center. You don't want to play c5 and kill your own bishop. You cannot play d5 because it allows e5. You don't want to take on d4 because it improves white structure. So all of the natural moves here have a very big if, and that's when you start noticing that perhaps your position is not so good. I mean, c5 bishop takes a4 is something you don't really even consider. You just kill the bishop on a7 so badly.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I don't think you consider this seriously. But what else do you do?
That's
It's a kind of
a good
annoying
question.
position. You could go like queen c7.
He did play queen
He actually
c7.
did play queen c7. But you have to be a little careful that bishop c4 doesn't work.
Okay, bishop to c4, you probably have to.
I think you have to go d5.
Oh, you cannot drop back.
You cannot drop back.
So if you drop back, I just
bishop
simply
f6
take.
just wins, yeah.
Yeah, this is just completely over. So you have to play d5, okay.
I think d5, yeah, but maybe it does work.
Well, it kind of has to work. If Aram played it, or at least it has to be complicated the way we refute it. So take, and you're basically saying that if you take,
I think if you take, I'm not
you
that
have enough
worried.
compensation.
I have enough comp. There's also a possibility I get a pawn back immediately.
How?
I mean, I could take, close my eyes and pray, and play either take on e1 and bishop a4, or bishop c6 and then take on a4
No,
somehow.
you cannot.
Ah, my rook is hanging. Sorry, bishop
Yeah.
c6 first.
Yeah, the
And
rook
then-
is
yeah.
hanging.
That's a
So you
good
have to
point.
start with bishop c6. But then I have queen to c4.
Yeah, but after rook g6, we're playing for all results, yeah?
Yeah.
Now this is a mess.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
This is a mess where I don't know who's better.
You have some compensation for
I have
sure.
some comp, you have an extra pawn, but who cares? And
At least some comp.
at least some comp. Yeah, we're not gonna say that it's full comp, but you got some tricks. No, but here rook g2.
Ah, there you go. Those are the tricks that you were talking about.
Yep,
Check.
all tricks.
Take, and I don't have a counter check.
Nope.
Okay, I like it. I like the
But
trend of this game.
we do like Mishra's position and his time situation.
A lot his time situation.
Yeah, it's really good.
I have to say.
It's really good.
His position might or might not be better. Probably it is. There's definitely some pressure. His time management, on the other hand, with only 2 minutes and 33 seconds left for his opponent and so many moves to play, I really like his chances.
I agree.
All right, let's see what Savion is doing against Bjerre. The young Dane who actually produced a beautiful concept, I have to say, yesterday.
Yeah.
We were looking at the game, we were like, okay, black is definitely putting some pressure on white's king. It does feel like white might have this idea of going queen to b3, queen to f3, and find the repetition. He said no.
No. He was a fighting spirit, even though he was low on time and his king was pretty weak.
Yeah.
But he found ways.
He said, let's go with the king out. Let's get out of the shell and produce a very, very beautiful concept. What do we think about his position right now?
I mean, the main issue is he's down material, right? He is down a pawn, and these pawns are doing a pretty good job because these pawns are keeping his rooks at bay. Objectively speaking, it seems to me that black doesn't have enough here.
Enough compensation for equality?
Not for a pawn.
You don't think so?
I don't think so, because, I mean, you cannot take on...
You cannot take on g3.
You could take on g3.
No way this works.
Well, it's queen d1, right?
Ah, you have
queen d1, which keeps the game going.
Right.
But I don't know if you want to do that.
Actually, why not?
King h2, I was thinking. I don't know, the game continues.
So you probably take now.
Yeah.
And you're the one invading me first.
I don't know.
Likely.
It's kind of a mess, but it's a huge mess.
Huge mess, right? You cannot take most likely.
I don't
because
know.
I
Queen g6.
Queen g6, rook f7.
Queen e...
I have queen h5 at the end. So if you go here, maybe I can even go here.
Oh.
Then you take, I have queen h5.
Yeah, well, we're going to pretend all of that analysis was accurate. Precise.
At this point, we're kind of just making moves.
Yeah.
Because almost for sure there's better options for both white and black. Now, initial position, this is what we have right now on the board.
I don't know, my instinct is white's better, but...
It's a pawn.
It is a pawn. It's a pawn, it's an important pawn because it keeps the rooks at bay. Like if it was some stupid pawn, maybe not.
We're talking about the pawn on d3.
On d3, yeah.
Just to not create any confusion. Do we have anything else as...
Black.
No, but I really like taking on g3.
I think you kind of have to.
Yeah.
The more we look at it, I don't know. I don't see another move.
h3, for example, I think is just going to be easily met
Queen
with
anywhere.
queen f1,
E2,
king h2,
yeah.
queen takes h3. Makes no sense.
No.
There's no way to open up the position. If you don't open up the position, you're in trouble. So that doesn't work. It does feel like you have to take. Otherwise, I take on h4 myself.
I don't think you have a choice.
Right. So take. You have to give a check. Otherwise, rook takes g7 is coming with tempo, and you most likely will get checkmated. King goes to h2. Do we think of this move as a forced move? Probably.
Probably. I don't think you go to f2 ever.
I also have this option.
Yeah, I thought about it, but then you have rook h3.
And then queen to f5.
And then rook eg3. And then I wasn't so sure.
Swinging around. Okay.
You could take on f4 also.
Yes, I can also do that, but you take on b7.
b7. Yeah,
So
I don't know. He played the move rook 8 d6, defending the e6 pawn, I suppose. Didn't initially like that because I thought white would take on h4, but perhaps he's not worried about just takes, queen takes. Maybe.
He has to take back.
Yeah, but here rook g3 I feel is even stronger.
Then I go here, most likely.
Queen b7.
Ah, you can still take
I can
this.
still take that. I don't know if I like rook 8
It's not
d6,
over
actually.
by any means. I mean, I can just still go and maybe create some threats of my own.
Yeah, this is kind of still a huge mess, huh?
It is.
Such an unclear position.
And how are we doing on time? Because time is of the essence in all of these games that we've seen so far.
They still have some time. 11 minutes for Sam and 13 for Jonas. So still within some, like some time pressure, but not crazy time pressure.
And just to finish it off with, actually, we haven't seen the game of the day. Actually, never mind.
The game of the day is a dead draw.
4 versus 3, Alejandro. I'm going to play this. I'm going to play this forever.
You can play it as much as you want, and they will. I guarantee you that you, Yangyi, will play this for the next 50 moves.
Yeah.
But it will not change the result of the game.
Probably.
This is the easiest of the 4 versus 3s that you can get.
Is it?
Yeah, Queen is the easiest.
This exact configuration.
I don't know about the exact configuration, but in general, Queen and
with
3,
a pawn on h6, I know is quite easy.
Yeah.
But with a pawn on g5,
it's just as easy.
H file open,
it's just as
probably just as easy. Sure.
It's done.
This one seems to be.
It'll be a draw.
A draw as well.
Oh, the other one is similar.
Wait.
The other one is similar.
No, but is this?
There's a draw.
I understand it's a draw, but how easy it is the question. So I go f6.
The harder of the two draws.
I want to play h4, right?
It's pretty.
h4,
it's not that hard.
Here and then get my king to f4.
Yeah, that's the thing. You never get there.
Well, you have to defend the second rank.
No, you don't.
Because then I go check.
Yeah, I think you can allow me to be cut in the second, which is why this is a draw.
So what we're saying is that you can basically just wait. I give a check.
Yeah, and at some
supposedly.
Point, at some point the important thing is not to let the king to f5. You go rook a5 or something.
So rook a5 here, let's say, you give a check, you cut me on the first rank. And
it's kind of sad for white, right? Because I don't want to go king g1. But if I go king e3, let's say I put my king on f2, then nobody's defending h3.
Exactly.
So you need to keep the king around this pawn.
Yeah, you need to defend all 3 squares.
It's technically a draw, but you do lose it sometimes. As white, of course.
He played rook to c5. Now, this is Ilya Smirin, a very experienced player. I'm sure he's seen this endgame before. Yeah, I don't expect Grigoriy to be able to capitalize on his extra pawn.
No, this one is not supposed to be too hard.
All right, and look at Ilya. He's not worried at all. He's like, okay, this is over. We both know. The Russian school has taught us that this is probably
a draw.
A draw.
It's technique to the best of their abilities. All right, where do we want to focus on? Because we have gone around the horn a little bit.
What's happening in this one? Zhou Jianchao.
Oh, wait, did we not look at the game of the day?
We have not looked at the game of the day in the B group. Zhou Jianchao against Brandon Jacobson. Brandon won the first one, drew the second. Zhou drew the first one, won the second.
Yeah, a very moved tournament so far for Zhou Jianchao. How do we feel about his position? Obviously, this was a King's Indian, but unlike most King's Indians, Black is actually up 2 pawns somehow. That being said,
2 pawns.
2 pawns. And White has 2 bishops.
How did White manage to get 2 pawns up?
No, even weirder. How did Black manage to be up 2 pawns? What is going on here? Yeah, White just kind of gave them away. Okay. With the last 2 moves, actually.
Let's see. So, so this was the, okay, c5, you give up 1 pawn. Quite an interesting and typical concept. d6. The problem is you're not actually getting any of your pawns back immediately.
Yeah, not immediately. So I wonder where the compensation is. There's a lot of moves here for White. You could take on c5 and go queen b2, for example.
You want to give me...
I want to give you a 3rd pawn. I don't care. Because here I have queen takes b7.
Okay, so you got 1 back.
Yeah, here knight f4 is a threat. So you got to watch out.
Back to 2.
Yeah.
So I have to go here?
You don't have to, but it seems like a very good move. Queen c6. I don't know. I feel like as
White has compensation. Absolutely.
Oh, no, 97. What are we talking about?
97. That's a problem.
Yeah, that's an issue.
That is a problem. Boom, boom, and this is game over.
That's game over.
Okay, so I have to be a bit careful about your devious ideas.
Yeah, it seems like White has ideas, right? It's not an empty sacrifice. This is definitely something that's practically difficult for black.
Okay. Let's try to reroute this knight. I want to go to e6.
But
you can take.
I can, there's so many things here to consider, right? Because I can also go g3. I don't know if it works, but...
You really want to trap? No, but...
I trapped the knight at the end.
Really?
Yeah.
Does this work? So take.
Check, king f2. F2.
Let's say king g2,
No,
because
F2.
I can give you a check
No,
first.
no, f2.
But I can give you a check first.
No, f2.
Why do you want to go to f2?
Because on knight takes e1, I don't take your knight.
Well, I get that. But what I'm saying is that I can give you a check first.
Oh, I see.
So now you don't have king f2.
Maybe I go king h1 anyway. No, but nobody's defending g3.
But now I can just
Skadoodle back to you.
And go back.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah, complicated situation. 11 minutes for Zhou Jianchao.
And I do have this extra square.
Yeah. Even this, I don't know how to assess it.
Who knows?
Knight f6, queen b7.
Who knows what's happening? Yeah.
I feel like white isn't worse in any of these lines, despite being down 2 pawns.
Wild game.
Wild game, yeah. Brandon bringing a lot of action to this tournament.
Typical Brandon.
Typical
Brandon. He likes to fight. He likes to play his King's Indian. He likes to come up with new ideas at h6
H6
in
was
round number 1, and then your student followed it up with the same idea in the second round. He has a lot of ideas. He has a lot of good ideas, and it does seem like he has a lot of experience with the King's Indian as well. So this is a feared weapon that he brings to the table every single game with the black pieces. Now, I like Brandon and I like his style of play. Zhou Jianchao is also a very, very intriguing player and very experienced player as well. Now, what do we think about... And there we have him right now pondering his next moves. Only 10 minutes left on the clock for him.
Looks very confused. I would be confused too, right?
Well, look, you just...
You sacked 2 pawns.
You sacked 2 pawns. You cannot be confused right now. You need to have a plan. Did he miss queen to f8? Was queen to f8 out of his reach? I don't think so.
No, I think it's just so many options, because he can take queen b2, but he also has just every move available, kind of.
But, okay, let's just see how long he... Okay, he didn't think for that long.
He just kind of felt instinctively that he had something here.
Played c5, played d6, and now, of course, the idea being that you actually cannot place your queen anywhere else.
Yeah.
But f8. If you go to e8 or e6, that's going to allow knight to c7 with double attack. If you go on the d file anywhere, I'm going to take on c5, and then you cannot recapture back because knight to f6 comes, or knight takes f4.
Specifically, queen d7, queen takes h5 is easier, but yes.
Oh, that's that's even nicer. I like it. Yes, same idea. Knight goes to f6, you lose. Now, and queen to d8, as we were mentioning, take here. Queen to f8 has to be played. So he definitely had it.
Yeah, he obviously saw it beforehand. Probably he got to this position and thought, here, I'll find something.
But find what?
I don't know. Queen d3 is actually not such a stupid move.
Queen to d3.
Yeah, he has a threat. I mean, it's a real threat. g3 is a threat. I don't know if it's a good threat. Probably not, because knight e6. But knight e6, bishop e2. Man, it's such a weird position.
So you're basically saying that you gave up 2 pawns, and now you're playing
chilling
for some sort of a strategical
I'm
compensation.
just chilling.
Yeah.
I'm chilling 2 pawns down. They're not my pawns.
I like it.
I feel black is better though. I don't think he's better in the. I don't think he's better in the initial position, but
it is 2 pawns after all.
It is 2 pawns.
Still, he's pondering his next option because.
Yeah, this is a crucial moment. Let's let him think here.
Yeah.
Because Vasquez and Burke have like. Oh, he actually played. He took on c5. Took on c5. I'm curious what he's going to do right now.
He's going to think.
Commentator's prediction is think.
Let's see. Yes.
Yes. Well said. Well predicted, Cristian Chirila.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So what's happening in this game that we actually haven't seen? Game between Vasquez and Guillermo.
I mean, material-wise...
Sorry, Vasquez and Burke.
Sometimes you play yourself, dude.
Yeah.
So materially, black is just busted down the exchange and a pawn, but I'm assuming there's some sort of compensation here. I don't see it, but maybe black is just lost. Because at the moment, the move rook b7 is a little bit of a threat.
That's a big threat.
A bit of a threat. Bishop h6 also kind of a threat. Your pawn on d3 is not actually going anywhere because d2, rook d1, among others. And you cannot take on h3 because, among other things, queen d5 is just resigns. This endgame is hopeless.
Mm-hmm. Exchange up and to connect the
passers.
No way you're going to survive this.
This looks lost.
That's problematic, and you only have 4 minutes to solve this puzzle. You cannot try to move the rook on the f file and try to create any sort of threats because rook takes b8 is coming.
I don't even see a defense.
What do you do? Bishop to d5, not possible.
Not possible? No, I think white's just winning.
Yeah. This might be it. Like if you go rook to d8, rook to b7, this was the big problem. You still have bishop to c7, but I have a feeling bishop to
f4 is probably winning. Even rook c1, d2, bishop takes d2 is probably winning.
Oh yeah, that's for sure winning.
That's for sure winning.
That is for sure winning. Yeah. I mean, we're going to enter in this.
No, you don't even. Yeah, you don't even have to calculate rook one.
No checks.
No checks.
No
just
checks
no
for
checks.
you.
Just do it easy way.
No checks for you. I have 2 extra pawns on the queen side. This is over.
No, this is over.
So what do you do?
I think he's dead. I actually don't see a move. I actually do think he's dead.
Vasquez. Huge victory for him. This would be. He started off with two draws. Two draws. Quite a difficult game in the first round against Mishra-Antipov. I actually don't remember what happened in the second round for him. I would assume it was quite uneventful. But right now,
I'll take a look.
He does pile on the pressure on his young opponent and actually peer at the collegiate level as well.
That's true. They actually, even though they're different generations, kind of.
Vasquez is still a collegiate player. He plays for University of Texas at Dallas.
Finishing his masters, and Burke is, I believe, a sophomore at Webster.
He's in, I think...
Sophomore, maybe junior, right?
Junior,
something
right
like that.
now, yes. Rook to d8. Yeah, time flies, Alejandro. Rook to d8, rook to b7. This is what we actually looked at just a second ago. Bishop to c7, and now we just said rook to c1. Probably finishes the game very easily. If you do go bishop to d5, the problem is I take, and you're a piece down at the end of it.
Yeah, that's a lot. No,
even without the bishop, I'm
winning,
still probably winning, right?
Without the bishop is a draw, but yeah.
But with the with the bishop is over. But what do you do?
I think it's over.
Wait, no, never mind.
Well, you thought bishop h2 now, yeah?
Yes.
I had the same thought. Yes. I had the same grandmaster thought, where you think like bishop h2 is a discovery now, but it didn't work in the previous move. There's no reason it would work this move. Yeah.
The rook was protected a move ago. It's protected now. I don't see it.
I don't see it.
Simple move, rook to b7 might finish the game.
By the way, we are being told by our producer that JJ Ali Marandi has found a very nice tactic. It's actually move 40, so let's jump into that. I don't see the tactic.
My goodness.
What is going on? He just played the move knight d3, g5, e6, jettisoning a very important pawn.
Let's not let our producer to shame us into not finding this tactic.
What is the follow-up here?
Where is it? Okay, I see an idea.
I mean, I see an idea of like a6, right? And then you cannot take the pawn, but I don't see what you do after rook a7.
No, I'm actually thinking about maybe give a check first.
On...
And no, but this would be too common. That's too artistic. Rook to h6, rook a6, rook a8. I basically just want to get the rook to a8 and then push
No, don't be so artistic. I think there's something more direct. Because rook h6 is pretty dangerous, right? Rook h6, king d7, I guess?
King to d7. But then I can go knight to e5.
It doesn't matter. You go knight e5 anyway.
Oh, yeah. This should be...
This looks very dangerous. This looks like the correct path. No, the thing about this move Is it maybe you got a6?
You have a lot of things.
I think this is just done, yeah?
Problem is knight to g6
Knight
is
G6.
coming. And if you do go king to e8,
I mean, at the very least, knight c6 is winning. You're not catching that.
yeah.
You're not catching that. The only way you can catch it is wait for me to go a6.
Oh, e6. Nice move.
Nice move
find.
by JJ.
Nice find by JJ, and actually he's not at the board right now.
Yeah, it is move 40, so he reloaded with an extra half an hour. So did Tigran.
Well, I would say only Tigran reloaded with an extra half an hour because JJ still has 20 minutes left.
E6 is a great move. I like this move a lot.
Perfect. All right, so we're going to let JJ find the right continuation. Definitely looks quite winning after either, even knight to e5, by the way, is tempting because I do have a big threat.
Yeah, it's becoming like a like a choose your own win, right? Choose your own adventure type thing. It's just winning everywhere.
But rook to h6 just seems to be like the most natural,
the most precise, the most natural, yeah. The most
followed by immediately the transfer of the knight to c6.
Yeah, we've talked about being a lazy GM, and I don't think this is an exception.
Might as well. All right, going back to the A group, nothing has happened in.
Well, he got further than he should.
The king is going to f4.
The king
but
was
then what?
But the king was on f4.
Oh, the king is already
See,
on f4.
this is a funny position because it looks like you just played king f6,
You're making
e5,
progress, yeah?
But no,
you're
you actually just
not
were on
making any
f4.
progress.
And this is another reason this is just a draw,
Yeah,
right?
this is just a draw.
Yeah, you just don't make any progress once you get here.
Yeah, there's not much. I mean, he's going to try, but there's not much.
I think the trying is done.
Another player that could potentially try is Yangyi, and he is trying, and most likely the trying will be over in this one as well.
Yeah, but the trying is going to be forever in that game.
Yes. And what happened in... Ooh. Okay, a lot of things have changed.
Either black is totally fine or they're totally lost. There's not much of an in-between here.
Right.
So there's a very big threat in the position. Knight c6 is a huge threat because you target the knight and you target a7. And I'm just going to go ahead and assume that the endgames are lost after knight d5, knight takes f4.
Unclear. But what if I go here?
I think I just go knight c6.
Now knight c3.
Okay. Let's see. But here I take on a7 and go bishop c7, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that black holds this ever. Maybe you do hold it, though. Knight d5 already played.
Okay, that's good. And bishop d2, by the way, immediately played. Now, of course, you don't want to allow knight to c3.
Knight c6, yeah.
And you still want to play knight to c6.
Yeah, c6 is coming. So what if you just retreat, knight c7?
How do I defend? Maybe like this?
Well, bishop before I take and go knight c6.
And how is that?
It's at least dangerous, but let's see.
Ah, you have a5 at the end.
I have something.
So I was thinking about knight c3, but now you have a5, and I think...
No. And if you capture the d4 pawn, you're probably just lost after knight c8. Like if you go for
knight c2, yeah.
Because at the end, the knight on b6 defends a4.
Yep.
Yep.
But they are playing quite fast. So he played knight to c7. Ah, are they just repeating the moves?
No, no, the bishop was on... I mean,
F4.
right now, yeah. If you go knight c7, bishop f4, then yes.
But that's what he did.
Knight c7, and there's nothing here?
No, they're just repeating the moves.
Let's see.
They repeated at least twice. So knight to c7. What's the... Ah, the idea is that after knight to c6, I just simply go a6.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you're defending a6. I don't see...
But this is not that clear, because now you have bishop to f4, right? Like,
I think you go
what
a5.
is this? Ah, you just go a5.
I think you go a5.
That's the point. Now you go a5.
Yeah. Something, if you move once, you don't have en passant the next move. Apparently, those are the rules of chess. Yeah, this is fine.
I know that en passant always has to be played.
Always.
Always.
Every move, right?
Absolutely.
So
if you see en passant, you have to play it.
Yeah, knight c6 equalizes then. I don't know. I feel like white, if you don't have bishop f4, then there's nothing here, right?
Might be nothing.
Might be nothing. I mean, if you give black a free tempo, I assume they just get out of their shell, right?
Yeah.
Although I don't know what black's next move is.
Bishop d6, maybe.
Bishop d6.
Why not? I mean, that actually is quite an important diagonal because you always harass my knight on c7 with bishop to f4.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So bishop to d6 and then knight c6 and then I go a6 and I'm fine.
Yeah, the funny part is that after king f1, for example, right? Bishop d6, bishop f4. Ah, then you take on e5. What am I saying?
Take on e5.
Yeah. Take on e5. Yeah, looks equal to me then.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, might just be a draw between these players. Okay, Smirin's not going anywhere.
Okay.
Savion, actually, is up a pawn.
Savion up a pawn in this endgame. But just for a second, because this is the one that we were having our eyes on. And
oh, the Hakobyan
the
game.
Mishra versus Hakobian. With Mishra having a huge time advantage.
He still has a time advantage, but it's not as huge. On the other hand, his position over the board looks quite tasty.
Does indeed. 1 minute and 20 seconds, by the way, for Hakobian right now.
Yeah, and Hakobian actually has the problems of the back rank mate. So, for example...
Huge problems.
Yeah, if you, for example, rook takes d4 or whatever, you just take on d4, and rook b8 is mate at the end. Because the king doesn't have h7. So...
Nice move, by the way, rook to
c1.
to c1.
Yeah.
Not only that you want to take on c6, but actually you want to set up this bind with the rook coming to c5.
This looks really bad for black.
I like what he's doing.
Yeah, I like
what Mishra is doing. He's breaking through right now.
And what is black's next move?
That's a good question.
You're going to defend this pawn, actually. Yeah, I will take on c6. It is a free pawn.
Queen b6, I think, was played.
Let's go with yes. All right.
7 moves. 7 moves to go.
It does feel like our producer's telling us that Vasquez looks like he might win. Sometimes I think our producer does listen to the show.
We already said that a while ago, Mr. Producer, but that's okay.
But we like you anyway.
We'll take this W.
We'll
Sometimes
take the W.
We get a lot of L's from the producers,
That's
mostly
true.
because they use the engine. But this time, we'll take the W.
All right, Queen b6 on the board. What do you suggest here for Mishra? What catches your eye immediately as a move for white here?
Knight to but knight to f5 is just
Knight f5 is tempting because it hits stuff.
tempting immediately, yeah. But then you start looking at it and it doesn't feel like the right move.
It doesn't feel like it. There's a funny move I was considering, the move bishop f5.
Yes, that's another move.
I wasn't so sure how you respond to it.
So once again, I cannot take because you just take, and I have huge problems
Yeah, it's still
on
mate.
the back rank.
I guess bishop f5 you could just take on
We do
f5.
have a move. Let's see what that is.
Queen h4.
Queen h4. I didn't even see that square.
I assume queen e4 is a bit annoying, but I don't know if it's all that annoying. The rook on e7 is not hanging because the knight on d5 is defending it, but it does challenge black to find a move as well, which is what I've been having trouble with in the last couple of moves, because black's pieces are pretty much as well placed as they get to be.
You do feel like white is setting up something.
Yeah, it feels that a trick is on the position, that white is setting up some kind of tactical detail. I can't see it.
And you have 40 seconds to figure it out.
Yeah, the 40 seconds part is the tough part. I like queen h4 actually. It's very cagey. It just puts the pressure on e7. You don't ever know when it's going to give dividends. Even a line like taking on b4, a5, rook c5, you can start to consider. Yeah.
Exactly, because right now, once you take on b4, you cannot recapture with the knight because the rook on e7 is hanging. Very good point. And if you do take with the a pawn, if you do take with the queen, you lose this c6 pawn. If you take with the a pawn, then a5, the exchange on a5, and then rook takes c6. Rook to d7 was played.
Oh man.
With only 12 seconds.
Oh man.
For Hakobian.
So much temptation in this position, I just can't make anything work.
Wait a minute. I'm thinking about bishop to b5 somehow.
Yeah, bishop b5, I wanted to make that work too,
So
but h7 is not... h7's not covered if you give up the bishop. I was trying to make the exact same tactic work. It's funny how Grandmasters work, yeah?
The detail.
Yeah, the king is I'm not going to go with safe, but maybe safe.
King escapes somehow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now if you go here, I just simply go g6.
And
So
we're
many
being
details.
told by the
Producer, our producer.
yeah, by our by the chat. I do read the chat once in a while. That
We have a chat.
we have a chat. You can actually join the chat on YouTube or Twitch, and I'll read it once in a while.
You'll read both YouTube and Twitch?
I'm that good.
Wow.
I am that good.
That's why they pay you the big bucks.
And they say that Queen H4 was actually the engine's recommendation.
Oh.
And that Queen E4 is very spicy here. Let's take a look at Queen E4.
Spicy.
Spicy
Are
it
those
is.
the exact words used by the chat?
That was used by the chat and by Stockfish.
G6.
Can I,
And then where's the spice?
can
Do
I
we
take
go
on
back?
F7?
Ooh, spicy.
That's spicy. I don't know if it works, but it's spicy. But it might work, actually.
Maybe it does. So, what if I just take like this?
No, but Queen
you
G6
take.
yeah, picks up the bishop.
Yeah, that's not spicy for me.
E6.
Actually, never mind. No. Let me play like this.
All right, then I'll take.
I'm running.
I don't know how far you'll run.
I'm running. Putting on my running shoes.
Well, it's spicy. I don't know if it's good. I mean, I have moves. I have Rook F1, F Queen H6. I have ideas, but I don't know if I really want to give up such a beautiful knight.
Exactly.
If it was a stupid knight, I think I'd go into this variation, but with the knight on D6, I'm not so sure I want to part ways with it.
Yeah. Well, he's thinking about it. 3 minutes and 20 seconds for Mishra.
Pretty important decision here, because
A
Queen H...
big next 5 moves.
Yeah.
We have 5 moves, huge moves that will determine the outcome of this game.
Yeah, we might want to stick here. I'll take a look at the other games on my other screen, just so that we know what's going on. Actually, the Savion game might be a draw.
It's becoming interesting.
I'm not sure how to evaluate the endgame, but it's not that interesting. You don't have to go for it.
We're going to stick with this one just for a couple more moves. I'm really curious to see what Mishra is going to come up with.
2 minutes and 30 seconds for the youngster.
Queen to e4. Let's try to make it work, Alejandro. Queen to e4, g6.
I mean, the only reason you do that is to take on f7. Otherwise, I feel that weakening f6
Or
is
maybe you
not
just
that
want
important.
to go back.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that.
Here I could take on d4 with the rook.
So if you take with the queen, I think no,
Although here I could do that too. Yeah, queen takes b4, queen takes b4.
I think you can, yeah, because I do have a check, but not much more than that. We do have a move. Do we see a central queen? No.
No, rook f1 was played, which we do not have engines, but it is a logical move. It makes queen e4 a ton stronger, I'll tell you that much.
So what if I take
On where?
on d4?
But
Oh, you cannot take.
You still cannot take, right?
So now the bishop is on d3, there's no pawn on g6, and now you get checkmate.
Yeah, you got me it.
So queen takes d4 is not possible. Rook takes d4, not possible. Good move. Asking some immediate questions. I like it. Very concrete.
And for Aram, he just has to play on increment. This is so hard to do.
He does.
It's so hard to do. Queen d8, all right. But now queen e4, right? Queen
This
e4,
was the first move that
queen
I
e4
looked
is
at
like
as well.
begging to be played.
Sure, queen to e4, g6, and now knight
Now
takes
knight
f7.
f7. Now this has to be winning. Come on. No way this is not winning. If it was dangerous with the rook on c1,
Right.
with the rook on f1, it has to be winning.
So now king takes f7 is not possible anymore.
Yeah.
You have to take back with the bishop, it feels like. If you take with the rook once again, this is just losing for black. So you have to take back with the bishop, but then, and I do think we will see queen to e4,
Yeah, queen e4
was played by the youngster. Big threat right now.
I mean,
queen to h7.
you can't allow this queen there.
No, you cannot allow the queen to drop back to h7.
It looks like this is the win.
Rook takes d6.
Oh, that's smart. That's very smart. So, do I throw in queen h7?
I think you should.
And the question is, do I even take the rook? I probably should, right?
I think you should.
I did lose a lot of positional advantage, I have to say.
Wait a minute. Let's try this.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Just like that.
You have to play rook d7, otherwise it's just the worst version. And then?
Do we have anything here?
Like rook f6. I don't know what that does.
Something crazy.
Rook F.
Something crazy for sure. So what if I take, and then just
Queen f8.
You defend with queen f8 or queen g8.
Yeah, I don't see it.
No, this doesn't work.
I don't think so.
He took on d6.
He did?
Yes. Queen takes d6 came instantaneously. That's a check. But now I'm starting to feel like Aram might be getting back into the game.
Yeah, I mean, you'll go g6 next move. You'll more or less stabilize, right?
He just...
Destroys.
He might have missed rook takes d6, which is...
Well, I missed it too. I didn't consider that move.
It's kind of a simple move because you just played queen to d8. You're hinting at taking on d6, but at the same time, you get distracted by the idea that queen to d8 actually attacks your queen first.
Yeah. No, I didn't see any of these moves.
At the same time, I don't think he did have any other options.
Mishra?
You can exchange on d8, but that doesn't make too much sense.
No, I didn't see much. Maybe rook f1 was not precise. I don't know. Let's see what the chat says.
That's why
Queen
our
h7 is
producer
drawing.
was...
Wow.
By the way, queen to e5.
I gotta say, I saw what the chat was saying about the position. Nowhere near what we were thinking. Apparently there was some like rook takes b4 and c6 is hanging. I don't know.
Okay, some crazy stuff.
So crazy stuff. No, nothing to do with chess.
Crazy stuff. Okay, so we are entering this endgame. And the rooks are also going to be exchanged.
Are they? Oh, because there's mate, yeah.
Right. So you cannot take on a4 because of rook b8.
You can't take on a4. Yeah,
No,
the is just lost then.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, if you have to exchange, if you don't have to exchange the rooks, then I think, I don't know.
No, but it cannot be that easy.
It's pretty bad. I don't think it's easy, but it's pretty bad. Thing is, you don't have a defense. Who defends c5?
It doesn't matter. I'm going to take with the knight.
Yeah.
So let's say I just play a move such as
g6. And now, we're being told that Sam Sevian and Jonas Bjerre did draw. We kind of expected that.
So g6, now I'm actually threatening to take on a4. You have to...
Yeah, let's say I take.
Take, knight takes b4.
And bishop e4 or something.
No, bishop to b3.
You have some counterplay.
Right. So I just want to keep contact with the pawn on a4.
All right, maybe it's not so easy.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, maybe not.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not winning.
But it won't be an
likely
easy
very close to it. But it's not easy.
Yeah, I don't know either, actually. I don't know either.
Well,
but we know who's playing for a win. How close to move forward?
He played g6.
I mean, g6 has to be played, yeah.
One more moves.
And you have to take on b4. I can't imagine not taking on b4 here.
Yeah, it feels like taking on b4.
Taking b4 looks completely forced. It's a bit annoying that you have this move bishop b3 at the end.
Bishop b3, yeah.
Maybe you don't even move the bishop from d3. You go like rook f3 or something. I really don't want to trade on d3.
But now I'm starting to.
No, but then bishop b5. And this is what I want to get.
Is it?
Yeah, if I can somehow anchor. Yeah, your pawn's not gonna queen. I'll bring my king and I think I'll win eventually. I don't know, king g1.
I don't believe you. I do not believe you.
You don't believe a lot of things I say.
I do not believe you.
I don't believe you. Here we are.
It's a weird position, yeah?
Yeah, but maybe rook a3, bishop d3 just wins here.
Rook a3 and then bishop to d3. That game, as you mentioned, Alejandro Sevian versus Bjerre has finished in a draw. We're not going to talk with any of those players because we actually have probably a victor very soon. That Vasquez game.
Yeah, Vasquez
What's
probably...
happening in that one? Could we Oh my goodness.
No, this game is just over. Yeah, this game is just over. Those 2 pawns actually cost the bishop. Actually, probably good technique is to go h4.
I like h4.
Yeah.
Yeah. H4 at least gains another tempo.
Oh yeah, another pass pawn. Actually, I don't know why I play
No,
h4
because
here.
I go king f6.
Why do I
right?
play h4 here? I play king g3. Come on. What am I doing? And this should be a winning position. 100% of the time, right?
I don't know. I'm assuming that yes, but... So I go bishop b3 and I go bishop... Actually, I'm not going to go bishop. It makes no sense to do that. I'm going to go king f6. What do you do?
I don't know. I'll push my pawns. b5 or something, whatever. I don't think it matters that much.
Actually, maybe you even want to go
You
f4.
even go f4, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think even these games are lost.
Because this is a good pawn.
This is a good pawn, yeah.
So what you want is basically get this position,
Yeah, the only,
put a pawn on h4,
although there are a lot of positions
get the
where
king.
there's a lot of positions where you block with the, like if you go king e6 bishop b3, this is already a draw, right? So you have to be very careful on how you do this.
Yeah. Not that easy.
Not that easy. It's still some work to be done, but this should be winning.
Yep.
Yeah, this has to be winning. I don't believe.
Okay. What's happening with Jacobson? Let's go to that one.
Brando Jacobson is currently up 0 pawns from the 2 pawns he was up, because that explains how much compensation Zhou Jianchao had, because he has up 0 pawns now. Pair of bishops is probably not that relevant considering where the material is, but still pair of bishops. Just not a very good pair of bishops.
It's a decent pair of bishops. It's not amazing, but it could get better.
It could get better, yeah. This bishop coming to c4 will eventually...
If we do exchange some pieces, maybe the rooks.
Yeah,
These
it
are
can
gonna
get
get
dangerous.
the
I'd rather be
dangerous.
white because bishops, but it's probably pretty equal. Well,
So how do we do things here? Is white to move? Do we start with queen to e3? Do we try to go rook to b5, setting up this spin? Doesn't really work because of queen to d1.
yeah, maybe you can start with bishop f1.
Cannot allow that. Bishop to f1, really?
I just really don't like
The
this.
guy just played bishop to h3 a couple of
did he?
moves ago.
This is what happens in Grandmaster chess, yeah?
Just a couple of moves ago.
Well, I don't know then.
I like this cagey view of Zhou Jianchao. It seems like we're spying on him
I like this view.
from behind the wall, you see?
It's a very funny wall. It's like completely white. Oh, Brando. There's something to say about that.
There's Brandon.
We're being told this is the only shot we have of the entire tournament.
It's, we're peeking
It's something.
into the safe space of Zhou Jianchao. I like it. All right.
What else do we have? Something that we haven't updated in a while. I still think this is just equal, and they may move 40.
Yes.
Somehow, Antipov lost a piece.
Wait, what?
Antip-
How did that happen? Oh my goodness.
I'm not sure, actually, how this happened.
Well, he did lose a piece now. How bad is it? The question is.
I actually have no idea. There is one remaining pawn for white. That
If
pawn
I
on
manage to
F4.
exchange that, then that should be a draw.
It's technically a draw, yeah. Even though you still have to prove it.
He will prove
He'll,
it.
yeah, I don't have a feeling Antipov will. But how do you get to that pawn? It's not that trivial.
It's a good question. And they just made move 40. This is move 41, actually. So what if I go rook to a6? Or let's try to set up this attack on e7, rook to c7.
Here maybe I go a3 anyway.
Okay. Can I let you go a2?
I don't know. Maybe not, yeah, because a2 just
By the
wins
way,
the
rook
rook.
to a6 was played.
Yeah, because a2 wins the rook in that line.
Rook to a6. Now if you go a3, I go bishop c5.
Well, here I go a2. King g2 and rook c3, right?
Yeah, maybe this is enough Maybe the pawns are enough.
Yeah, it's possible the pawns are just enough here to keep equality. It's hard to believe that this annoyance, because you're not losing the 8 pawn actually. It's hard to believe that if you have this annoyance of the pawn, that you're going to be...
Wait, so how do you do it right now?
Yeah, A2. Just A2. And then rook D3. Same stuff. I don't care about E7, so I just give a check. And then I go up, king E6, whatever. And king F5. And I go back. And I just stay.
Just stay like this?
Just stay like that, yeah.
And you're saying that I actually have no way to improve my position?
No way. I don't believe this.
What if I get the bishop to E5 somehow?
Okay.
In fact, I'm going to go bishop to F8 first.
I'll make stupid moves until you do that.
Okay. I'll keep the bishop here.
Sure.
You continue making stupid moves?
Sure.
I would assume you don't continue.
I don't want to continue making stupid moves because you're threatening.
I'm going to take that pawn.
You are going to take on H7. But even if I go G5, it's already a draw, right?
Uh-huh. You have G5.
Well,
Not sure.
King D5?
Don't go King F5.
That'd be funny.
That would be a tragedy of sorts. But you do go here, here, here. And now,
yeah, and then we fight this.
we
I
go
have a
this
feeling that this is holdable for black. Like, I have a strong feeling of that.
By the way, we do have A3 on the board and bishop to E3.
Really? What if A2? Ah, maybe bishop D2.
What a concept.
Nice. I like this.
What a concept.
Huh.
So you cannot actually... You can go King E2 also, by the
Yeah.
way. Perhaps this is even cleaner.
That's true. I like this bishop E3 move.
Okay. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Just let me exchange the last pawn.
Yeah, you'll get it.
Let me exchange the last pawn. Will I?
E5.
Ah, E5. Important move. To not... or E6.
All right, E6 is nice. E6 is stronger because on E5 you have bishop G3.
Yeah, E6.
E6
That's
is
it.
good. Yeah. We found the draw. Yay.
Well, the technical draw.
The technical draw, because then
you
you
still
still
have
have to
to prove
suffer
it.
for the remaining 50 moves.
Yeah. Okay, bishop to E3.
Yeah. It looks like you're going to lose A3 by force. So you really want to get rid of this last pawn as quickly as possible. There's no reason to suffer otherwise.
Speaking of which, maybe we should try this idea of yours, bishop to D2. Because perhaps right now it's not that easy to exchange that last pawn. Ah, but now you get ready to exchange it.
I have a feeling that this pawn isn't surviving. To be quite honest, if you just pluck the pawn on A2 off the board, I'm not even sure that's winning. Like, I don't know if it's a draw, but I don't guarantee it's winning.
And perhaps this is just the easy
draw.
Easy draw. You give a check, but then I go up.
Nothing to be done.
Yeah, and somehow Kamil's body posture doesn't seem very confident in a victory either.
No, I have a feeling that this is technically a draw. How did he lose the piece, by the way?
He probably gave it.
He probably gave it away, right?
Let's see. We're going to drop back a couple of moves just to see exactly. Yeah.
Wow, he legit just said, I don't like my piece. That's an interesting decision because I don't see anything wrong with bishop f5.
That's very puzzling to me. So I would assume he was afraid of something like this.
Yeah, bishop a1 and then queen e5 or something.
And if you go here, I have queen c3. You actually cannot defend all of the squares.
Maybe. It's still a little curious, right? This decision to just take on g2.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It feels more desperate than it had to be. Maybe we're wrong, but that's how it feels to me.
We're not wrong.
Yeah,
we just peeked at the engine.
But bishop g2 is the second best move.
It does make a draw, yes. And
Yeah, the current position is
the current position is just draw.
Yeah, we kind of expected that. Sometimes we're right.
And you actually have a couple of, I guess this is actually much easier.
And then e5. Yeah. Why
You can take the pawn.
are
and
we
you
even
go
thinking
E5.
of this, right?
That's it, right?
That's easy.
That makes a lot of
Very
sense.
easy.
Okay, so this one will probably go in direction of a draw. What's happening in that Cheka game that we, oh my goodness, this does look like Cheka is on the verge of victory.
Yes, that being said,
Yes or no? Is that what
he
you're trying
was
to say?
already looking in the verge of victory for a while, and this one looks a bit more complex than it needed to be. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Because I remember the original position with the rooks being passive, and now, okay, the rooks are not amazing.
We left it off. Let's just actually go there.
We left it off basically there, and
Here.
I'm not really sure what progress White's made since.
King H1,
Yeah.
trying to go rook to G1. H4, aggressive. H5.
So I guess he's weakened black on some squares, and this is one repetition, but of course White will not take the second. They just wanted to make time control. But currently your C3 knight is hanging.
I have a threat.
You have a threat. Black has a real threat.
And if you do go knight takes d5, then maybe I can exchange the queens.
Yeah, this is already not so clear, right?
Not clear at all, no.
No.
I take, and then I have some checks.
Checks,
I have
yeah.
the rook coming to c2.
No, not at all.
You cannot stop me from doing that, because if you do this, then you just lose.
I'm not even sure who's better.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I don't like knight takes d5. So,
So what do you do?
well, the key question will be queen h6, I think.
Queen to h6.
Either it works or it doesn't. Now, you cannot take on c3, I think, because you give a check. And then at some point, I'll take on c3. Like, I'll give another check on a dark square, and I'll take on c3. Now, the question is, does black have a perpetual at the end? Maybe you don't need a perpetual at the end. You just take on e3.
Yeah, I mean, I have my threats too. That's the thing. I
Yeah,
do
you're not
have
even
a
down that much
checkmating threat.
material,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe in this.
So how do you defend? Maybe you take first.
Yeah, I just don't know how that helped me, though. And it's a bit scary.
Yeah, this is just, I mean, it's still just one check.
Yeah. I mean, you can keep chasing me, but why do you want to keep chasing me, right? You can go queen g8 here, but just king e7. I don't know if there, because queen takes d5, and then I have to calculate stuff. But this looks... Well, maybe instead of queen g8, I just take on g6. What am I doing? Take a pawn for free.
Oh, yeah, why not? Let's take it.
No, you don't want to go on dark squares, because bishop f6.
But if you go on the light squares,
I cannot take on f5.
right, because of queen takes f5 and rook takes c3 and black is winning.
We're kind of deep in the rabbit hole, but it is actually what White is probably looking at. Because queen h6 is...
He must be looking at this.
Yeah, if queen h6 doesn't work, I don't know what you do. Is there an alternative?
I don't see it.
Yeah, either you throw in queen h6 immediately or after h takes g6, but I don't see another move. Because rook f2 we already tried. It was already played in the game. Which will be just a draw, by the way.
Well, why I want to take on g6 first is that if you start with queen to h6, rook takes c3, and now you go queen to g7, then when you take on c3, unfortunately, rook takes c3, you don't have queen takes g6.
Yeah.
So once we exchange these two pawns, I will have this extra option.
That being said, on the other line, you can take on h7 with a check instead of going queen g7.
You can, but we looked at that, right? So we looked at this,
Maybe queen
and now you
g8
have to go to h8.
Ah, no, you can go queen g8. Here, queen...
You don't have queen g7.
But I have queen f7.
Yeah, but that doesn't help you too much, because now I go up.
Bishop d6. Bishop c5, sorry, but it doesn't work. No, it doesn't work. All right. Then maybe Cheka misplayed his hand. Maybe Cheka just misplayed his hand, because I don't quite see it. What does the engine say?
He did.
The engine says 0, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, something
just
went
peeked.
really wrong
for white, because he was definitely winning when we left it off. Yeah, he was definitely winning. He was +2 when we left it off.
And Vasquez is
a big miss.
still nursing this.
No, this is just winning, yeah. And the engine says, come on, +1 million.
We keep saying that, and it.
No, since we're cheating and it's the last 5 minutes of the show.
It probably is
I mean,
true,
it's +1 million.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
By the way, we're not that bad at chess. As you can see, Mishra and Aram are actually following our
analysis.
idea.
Yeah.
And somehow, Oparin is still playing.
That king is doing the opposite of progress, right?
He's still fighting.
He's trying to trick him into some kind of pawn endgame. There are a couple of pawn endgames where I actually lost for black. Yeah, the king's on A1. You go F4.
Yeah. King on A1, huh?
Even that's a draw.
Right. So, Mishra, unclear. Smirin, Oparin has to be a draw.
Yeah. Ray Robson, Yangyi, I'm still betting.
Still betting,
Still betting on the draw here.
But there's some options.
This is actually very cute what Ray is doing. Wait, what is he doing after pawn takes F5? Queen G5.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, but this is enough.
He'll suffer. He will
he's
suffer.
suffering, and it's not like the cleanest way of having done
He will
things.
suffer.
I don't know why his pawn's on F5, actually, to be honest.
That's a very good question. He put it there. He put it there right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this. All right, so we do think that Ray is suffering, but still within a draw range.
Yeah, but it's getting tricky for sure.
Actually, you know what the interesting thing is? I have no idea how to evaluate the Theodorou endgame. I'm not even sure who's playing for a win.
They haven't drawn yet.
No, they actually played out into this endgame, and I have a feeling that white actually has overplayed his hand a little bit.
I see.
The knight c3 is an issue, yeah?
Knight c3 is a problem. You did get the d pawn.
Yeah, but who cares?
But
who cares about that d pawn?
What's that
It's not
d-pawn
going
doing?
anywhere. That d pawn is kind of stuck. Also, how long has he been thinking for this move? Feels like he's been thinking on after knight takes a4 for forever.
yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure because we don't have
It actually says right there. He has 18 minutes. No, wait.
Yeah.
He has
18
6 minutes. He has 6 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh my goodness.
He's been
thinking for
18 minutes. Oh my God, that's
a lot of
that's
minutes.
quite irresponsible right after the time control. Because you
41.
Yeah, you jump from time control to time pressure, right?
That's because you might actually be worse.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You might actually be worse. And by the way, I do think he has actually 11 minutes from.
Yeah, he has
what
11
I'm
minutes. The
seeing.
lead chess board is a little off, but 11 minutes still not that much time. I mean, the most logical move is King E2. I think you just don't play this for a win. Knight C3, King D3. You just run the king forward and make the draw.
And pray, yeah?
Yeah, but the knight is pretty awkward. I'll keep hitting the knight, King D5, and go King C6. And at some point,
Wait.
are you on time to do this?
I think so.
Knight takes F8. You might still be in time.
Well, let's actually make sure that we have the board.
No, this doesn't work. Knight takes F8 actually wins.
We still don't have the analysis board.
Oh, yeah, sorry. There we go.
Now we have it. So we got we got all the way to this position
From here.
by giving up a pawn and just hunting this knight down the board. And now I was saying that if you do this, then my pawn goes.
Yeah.
But you can just simply take the other guy.
Yeah, and A3, bishop C1 actually works for white.
Easy.
Yeah, barely, but it does work.
Easy.
Well, Cristian, we are coming to the close of our show. It's only 90 minutes per day. We try to bring you the highlights on whatever we can. Normally, we even get interviews, but we haven't had that many games finished today. Let's leave our viewers with the pairings for tomorrow. We usually have a lot more in terms of standings and stuff like that by this point of the day, but we don't have it today.
No results almost, yeah.
No, just one draw.
Actually, only have one draw
result, yeah.
between Sam Sevion and Jonas Bjerre.
Bjerre.
And tomorrow we will have quite some
action
battles. We have Robson versus Aram Hakobyan, Jonas Bjerre versus Abhi Mishra, the two youngest players in this event, Benjamin Gledura versus Sam Sevion, Grigoriy Oparin versus Nikolas Theodorou. That is a collegiate matchup, Mizzou versus SLU. Well, that's going to be interesting, Alejandro, tomorrow.
That'll be fun.
Yangyi versus Ilya Smirin.
That's an interesting one.
And how about the B group?
Yeah, the B group also has fascinating struggles. Depending on how things go, I would say that Brandon Jacobson could be one of the leaders tomorrow. I also expect Kamil Dragun to be one of the leaders tomorrow. They're going to be playing with the black pieces both. One against Tigran Harutyunyan, who I think will go down today against JJ Ali Marandi. I really think
for the second time in a row.
For a second time in a row, he's having a tough
yesterday as
tournament.
well.
Yeah, he's currently down a piece and no real hope there. Antipov playing against Zhou Jianchao is two of the highest rated players in the event. Both of them have been over 2,600, so they could even be playing the A group, to be honest. And John Burke is playing against Nico Checa, and JJ, who's probably going to come off a win, will probably be playing against somebody that comes from a win as well, as I do think that Guillermo Vazquez from UTD will be dispatching John Burke today.
Absolutely, a lot of fun games. We're going to be signing off for today. Round number 3 is about to finish. Don't forget, you can still watch the games even after this show is over. You can go to Lead Chess, you can go to Chess24. You will find the Summer Chess Classic on those platforms. And we will be seeing you tomorrow at the same time, 3:30 p.m. Central Time, for the live show and the games beginning at 1 p.m. See you tomorrow with round number 4.
See you tomorrow.
This has been a presentation of the St. Louis Chess Club. Any reproduction or distribution of this content without the express written consent of the St. Louis Chess Club is prohibited.